Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Game Brigade. I'm your host Brian, and on this show we do reviews, previews, and playthroughs of your favorite games. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing. So today on the show we're going to be doing a Kickstarter callback for the month of August. If you are new to the show and or the series, the Kickstarter callback series where we go back in time 1 month, sometimes further based on requests, and we take a look at games that I backed in the given month, or reasons why I didn't back specific games if they were featured. So today we're going to be taking a look at 2 games that I covered, and we're going to discuss why I didn't back them. So let's go ahead and take a look at the first game. As we pull this up, I do want to say that we have a Kickstarter, we have a giveaway going on for Oathsworn. So if you are new to the show and you aren't aware about the giveaway, I'll have a card up here for information on that, and we'll have additional information at the end of this video regarding that giveaway. Okay, so Uprising: Curse of the Last Emperor is currently still live on Kickstarter, so if you're interested in that, we always have information down below, so you can check out the games yourself or check out the Kickstarter links for additional information. So as of this filming right now, we have 5 days to go. We're about 2,600 backers and $258,000 in their goal. So Uprising: Curse of the Last Emperor was a game that I backed because it fit a specific niche into my collection that I felt like I didn't currently have. As of right now, as I'm developing more games, as I'm not developing, but like purchasing games or adding games to my collection, I have to start getting to a point where I have to look at the collection that I have on the wall and say, okay, is this replacing a game I currently have, and is it a better option for my group, or is this an option that doesn't exist in my table? So currently this is fulfilling the I don't have something like this in my table. We have something similar, I would say, with our difficult co-ops like Spirit Island or Pandemic, but those I don't think play or feel the same way that this game feels. This is a fully cooperative 4X experience. 4X is one of my favorite types of game mechanics. I love 4X, but generally they are competitive. It's all against all, or they take forever to play. Like Twilight Imperium, when we play that game, it could take upwards to 8 to 10 hours. So getting a game that can be completed in 120 minutes cooperatively and still fulfilling my 4X feel, I really enjoy that. So that was one of the main reasons why I looked at this game. Also, I really like a lot of the elements that they're completing with this game. So we're going to scroll down here a little bit and take a look at one of the things I really liked. So I'm currently in at $1 as the pledge level, because I wasn't totally sure if they were going to be adding anything more. But as I mentioned in my last video, I truly believe, for me, I would be looking at this all-in pledge, because I believe that the additional expansion pack, which includes 4 more characters, factions that you can choose, which increases your total leader count to 8, really, to me, is a necessity in a 4X game. But that's me. I really think I love variety. I love having additional options. So to me, this all-in pledge is not that more expensive, and you're getting quite a bit more for that. Also, the other reason I really wanted to get on this game is the Kickstarter exclusive. If I wanted to support a company, I think that's a big part of getting a Kickstarter. But generally, you have to decide is this worth it? One of the features of my channel is, do we talk about the financial aspects of this game? Is this going to be financially viable? Is this going to save you money by backing it now, or could you buy it retail? Obviously, whenever we're dealing with a Kickstarter exclusive, this game is, unless they have extra copies that they're going to sell on their online web store or at conventions, the only way we're going to be able to get this game is through Kickstarter. So if you're going to buy this secondhand, there's going to be a primo price attached to that game. So for me, cost of shipping, all in that, this game will hold its value. I'm not too worried about that. Especially with looking at the gameplay video that I've seen already, I suspect that this will hold its value. So all-in pledge, Kickstarter exclusive, those are both positive check marks for me. But we're going to scroll on down here to the other aspects of the game that I liked and the reason why I wanted to move forward. For one, these acrylic standees. I don't think enough is being said about how great it is that a company came to Kickstarter and said, we're going to kick the norm of requiring to have minis. I do think we're having a massive problem right now in Kickstarter of mini bloat. There are times where you have games that just put minis onto their game that don't necessarily require minis. I love minis. I feel like they really bring in like the aesthetic feel for the game. But at times the storage capacity for all these added items really starts taking a toll on your storage solution. Like, a lot of people use KLAXs for their storage, and the more games that you have like massive amounts of minis, like Zombicide for example, starts dominating a huge amount of your collection in terms of where can I store all the stuff. So the acrylic standees, big plus for me. I want to give major props to that because I don't think enough creators are talking about how cool it is that we're going to have fully colored, designed stuff that we don't have to paint or worry about, that are still pretty nice looking, that aren't going to be, you know, cardboard that could degrade or, you know, get damaged in some way. I also really like the hex table here with the playmat. The fact that you're going to have a fully modular board, which will be, you know, be able to flip and find out new stuff as you're exploring. To me, that adds replayability, adds a lot of excitement to the game. I'm on this one 100%. So this one also has an availability for a tabletop simulator. So if you're not sure if this is a game for you, you can play the tabletop simulator, get a good feel for it. There's information in the Kickstarter regarding that. So this was the first game that not the first game, it's actually the second game I backed, but it's still active, so I wanted to cover it first. I love this stuff. I love the idea that you can customize these little havens to make them stronger with walls and towers. I just think that's so cool. So this was the first game I covered. If you have any questions, I'm going to be playing this game hopefully next week on Tabletop Simulator to get a really good feel for it. So if you have any questions, make sure you leave a comment down below. Let me know if there's anything you want me to look into more or see what the feeling is for it. So if you are unsure if this is a good fit for you, let me know and I will make sure to get an answer for you. So that was the first game. Let's go ahead and take a look at the next game. Okay, so the first game officially that I backed, but the second one in the video, here will be Massive Darkness 2 Hellscape. This does have a late pledge option, so if you're interested in backing this, if you didn't back it earlier, you can click the late pledge and get on this now. And this is brought to you by CMON Games, Come On Games, whatever you want to call them. So this game, let's actually click campaign here. This one is one that I backed $1 in. I wasn't totally positive I was on this game, and I'll be honest with you, I'm still on the fence for Massive Darkness 2. There are things about this game that I really, really like the aesthetic look of the game. I love the feel of it, but then there's times where I see art direction and I'm like, what the heck is that? So it's still not 100% set for me. So let's go scrolling down. First off, when I did my first video, it was day one. We've had a ton of stuff. I'm trying to get to here. It was day one, and we've had a ton of stuff released since then. At the time of my video, we had 2 pledge levels. We had the Hellscape pledge, which included just the base game and any stretch goals. And then now they've included this upgrade pack, which I think they talked about originally. And then we had the Heavenfall pledge, which was the expansion, which basically, I believe you're fighting against angels who potentially could fall. They have a little Kickstarter video that basically says, demons are always trying to get to heaven. What happens if angels try to get to hell? Something like that. So if I'm going to buy this game, the Heavenfall pledge is going to be that's to me the core level. And then we go from add-ons from there. There's no, like this core box here, this $100 one, for me, that's not it, because I want the ability to have a campaign to get more replayability out of this. But let's pause there for a second. The reason why I actually want to get this game, Massive Darkness, is to fulfill a niche in my collection that I currently don't have. A lot of my dungeon crawl games are actually campaign based, and so when I had some friends visiting me in January, we wanted to play a dungeon crawler, so we pulled out Gloomhaven, and I realized, I was like, this isn't really as good as I want it to be for a drop and play. Like, we have to make your characters. Now I've got your character boards. Do I keep these character boards? Like, if you guys come back and play, I don't know. So I kind of wanted a game that was almost like we can just pick a map, pick and go. Kind of like how my Descent version 1.0, like from like 2009 was, where we just picked a map on the board. We all picked characters. You played the single map, and you were done. I kind of wanted a modernized version of that doesn't require a player to be the DM. So that's kind of one of the reasons I was looking at Massive Darkness 2. Now, you can actually find Massive Darkness 1 like pretty inexpensive. It's like $70, $79, a few places I've seen locally. So I could pick up Massive Darkness 1 and see if it fits my play group, but they've had a lot of changes in terms of how the gameplay works and streamlined it. So I don't necessarily know if it's going to be as close to the way I want it to be as I'd like. So I'm still on the fence on that too. So anyways, tangent over. I apologize for the massive tangent. But they have added a bunch more stuff here. So now we have the 275 gameplay all-in. We already knew that they're always going to do a gameplay all-in, and this basically is going to include all the expansions. So there are a few things that we want to talk about here with the expansions. We've got the Demon Dragon, the Four Horsemen, War of the Souls, and the Druids of Beelzebub, I believe. I can't really pronounce that name very well. We also have Gates of Hell, but this one's not a Kickstarter exclusive. So whenever we're dealing with CMON Games, they have these Kickstarter exclusive items, and these are going to hold their value or go higher than what we're looking at with this total cost here, this $275. They say you're getting a $25 discount as well by buying them all at once. They have a breakdown of what they're going to call the MSRP if they were going to sell this at retail, even though these are Kickstarter exclusives. But just know that these most likely will hold their value. And it's one of the reasons I talked about in my first video that if I were to back this game, it's mostly gonna be the fact that I know that if I don't like it, I could resell this and not be too much in the red, or I can potentially make profit on it. So there's not like a huge risk for me buying this game. The only thing I don't necessarily like is some of the art styles of some of these designs. This dragon, I don't really care for the look of this dragon. I really like the way the horsemen look. I did not care the way these souls looked. It kind of reminded me of World of Warcraft's back in like the Cataclysm expansions. I remember they had like some swirly guys. It kind of reminds me of those guys. So, and that's been my biggest complaint with this game, is that some of the mini 3D designs here some of them are spot on, and I'm like, that's a good looking design. And then I see another one, I'm like, man, what were they thinking? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. So then they have the bling pack. This is $340. This includes all of these little items, which to me is not a bad value, because depending on how these interact and work, you could, in theory, put these in other games, which is kind of cool. You got some pillars, you got some chests, you got some bridges, you got some statue figurines, you have some traps. You have a lot of cool things that you could potentially repurpose for other games. And I think if I'm being able to buy a mini, I don't personally do this as often as I like to claim I do, but being able to take a mini from a game, and this is why a lot of people buy mini games, and repurpose it for other designs, for other uses, that's a cool use. I know a lot of my Dungeons and Dragons friends, I don't personally play Dungeons and Dragons, although I get invited all the time. I don't personally play yet, but they love taking minis from other games and integrating them into their campaign. So this is actually not a bad coverage for that. You're getting quite a bit of stuff. You're also getting these dice. I don't play Zombicide, so this is completely pointless for me. But there's that. This $490, we're almost at $500, the massive all-in. You get a $57 discount. This one to me is not worth it because it's basically including a storage solution. I don't think that storage solution's worth the value for me, and especially what this is going to cost you for shipping. I don't think it's needed. You could say it's worth it. I personally like going down to Michael's or Joann's or whatever and buying some beading boxes, and I can do the exact same thing for a fraction of the cost, like for $1 a box. So that's what I personally do. So I wanted to kind of talk about some of these, because I had a lot of people asking me, what do you think of the some of these designs? There's other things. I really don't like scrolling on you guys, so I apologize for that. So here's a good example. So we're going to go to some of the bosses. So one of the things that a lot of people were asking me in the previous video is, what did I think about the art design, especially with some of these halos on some of these angels? When I'm looking at this design, it looks great. But when you translate this to the mini and you've got this disc behind the angels' heads, I can see how that's a little distracting and not as good as it could have been. And they take this design with a lot of their different stuff. And it's hard because there's so much content with this game to find exactly what you're looking for. So here's another one. This halo here, I can see how this can be extremely distracting. This one back here is not as bad, I will say that. But man, this is big. And so when you're buying a game that's so heavily invested on the minis, here's another one. This one's not as bad because it's so far up, but still it's there. I can see how, people would be distracted. And there was one more specific expansion that I had some people ask me to take a look at. Oh yeah, it's a daily campaign unlock. Man, they have so much stuff. It's down here somewhere. I don't know if I'm able to find it. There's so much stuff. It was the ponies and cupids design, if you guys know what I'm referring to. I felt like I was pretty sure it was a daily unlock. Here we go. Okay, so they had these day 13, 14, and 15. They had this exclusive mob minions and leaders expansion, which features cutesy stuff. People ask me, what do you think of that? Does that detract you from buying the game? Not a little bit, but not enough to say no. I definitely don't care for the art style. I don't care for the chibi look. This isn't something that I look for as a gamer. But I could see that there's people who do appreciate this, and as a Kickstarter exclusive that's added for free, it's not like it's too big of a deal. It's just definitely not my wheelhouse. But I do think it's interesting, the directional changes where you have this demon that looks so aesthetically pleasing and evil, and then we're switching over to these little cupid guys. There's definitely a major detraction there. So I don't know. I'm still 50-50 on Massive Darkness, and I can understand, and I hope I wasn't too rambling in this one. I'm pretty sure I was. And that's because Massive Darkness 2 is so big. There's so much stuff to dig through, to comprehend, that you're never going to be able to feel like, unless you spent a lot of time, you're not going to really know everything about the campaign. They have 64 updates to dig through. You've got the entire campaign. There's 50,000 comments. There's a lot of stuff to read through to truly understand how much this game is going to be valued to you. So I've done as much digging as I felt like I possibly could, and I'm still not even sure if I'm going to pledge. If I go up, it's going to be definitely including the campaign version. Do I go higher than that and get the expansions? I don't know. I've actually considered doing a video on expansions and talking about how I don't think expansions are worth it. So that might be a good thing to cover in a future video, because I truly do believe that. So we're going to go over and cut to the final thing here and just end this video up. Okay, so we are currently sitting at 2720-ish subscribers of our 3,000 count for the Oathsworn giveaway. We are probably projecting, I'm thinking about a month out from the completion of that giveaway. We were given a second copy for a second giveaway for 5,000 subscribers. I need to reach out to Shadowborn Games. I'm actually going to be playing some games with them, I think next week or in 2 weeks. So I can talk to them then and say, hey, what's the best way to handle the second giveaway? I want to make sure we don't miss any deadlines or anything in terms of when they need to have a name and a shipping address. So I'll be following up with them, because, I don't know how long it's going to take for us to get to 5,000 subscribers. I would love to be able to say in 2 weeks I can get 2,000 subscribers. I just don't think it's realistic with my current growth. We're still growing really well. I just don't think it's realistic. So I want to find out, like, what's our cutoff date? Like, how much time do we need? And two, I don't think I'm going to run the second giveaway like I'm running the first giveaway. It's so much man hours to make sure everyone has their bonus entries that and that's only for 500 subscribers. I can't imagine how many bonus entries I'd have for a 2,000 subscriber video or a giveaway. So I definitely need to figure out a different solution. Maybe I'll take some ideas from Shelf Clutter, like doing a hashtag on a certain video or something. I'll figure that out. in terms of what's the best way to give that giveaway. So that's for that. Second update I want to talk about was a Discord channel. I've had a few people in the comment section and talk to me through Instagram bring up potentially having a Discord channel for the community, something that we can all get together, talk board games, talk Kickstarters, discuss things about the videos, whatever, even play games. If you want to play games together, Discord's a great service. So I've had some people bring up to me, hey, have you thought about making a Game Brigade Discord channel? I have, but I didn't really know how prevalent or used that would be by the community. So I wanted to ask you guys, would that be something you'd be interested in? Is a Discord channel something you'd actually use? Would you ever drop in and say hello? Would you play games with me? Let me know in the comment section down below. For the final part of the channel update, more of the giveaway. If you want to get your bonus entry for this video, please leave a comment down below with somewhere in your words saying Uprising. I appreciate everyone who's been leaving comments. I really appreciate all the funny and unique ways you guys think of including the keyword. So thank you for that. I will let you guys know soon what my next video is if you want to get those sneak peeks. And if you want that bonus entry, make sure you follow me on Instagram. I will reach out to you on Instagram to verify what your YouTube name is versus your Instagram name. That way I know who you are to correlate to your bonus entries. I have all the information down below regarding social handles or anything like that. So always check down below if there's anything that might interest you regarding the videos. I will talk to you all very soon. Thank you for watching till the end. Bye-bye.